there folks, today we're gonna take a look at the game called The Girl and the Robot. It's published by Flying Carpet Games and the designer is Salim Larochelle. And in this game you take a role of a girl, a princess and her robots, and you are fighting against the evil queen and the evil robots. So it's like a team-based game with a Russian roulette twist on it. So let's take a look at how the game works. So as I told, this is a team-based game. You can play it 1 versus 1. You can play it 2 versus 1 if you include the robot, and you can play it also 2 versus 2 if you include the shadow robot on the other side. So there's the girl and the evil queen there. Now, this game is extremely simple. You have a hand of cards, you have the girl with the special abilities and the evil queen with the special abilities, and you have a basic sword. So each player will have also a basic sword as a basic weapon that you need to defeat the demons that will come up in this deck over here. So this hand of cards, you have action cards, you have the ability points, and you will also have weapon cards that you can put in front of you so you can defeat the demons. And the whole point of the game is that you can play any number of cards from your hand, all the actions and ability points, and then you will draw 1 card at the end of your turn. For example, if you play the ability point cards, you play these. For example, I'll play this 3 ability points, and so I can use 3 ability points in order to activate my ability down here. For example, the next player cannot play any action cards on their turn, and so on. There's also another ability. The evil queen also has some abilities that they don't have to pay for. If the girl and the robot are in play, you might draw 2 cards instead. For example, if this is the game of 2 versus 1, for example, she has an extra ability over here. So that's that. You can also play the action cards. For example, choose another play. You and that player each choose 1 card if able, and then give it to the other player. Or do not draw any cards this turn. You may decide on a new turn order, and so on. So you play any of these cards. Let's take a look at some of the other cards. Search the draw pile for a demon, shuffle the draw pile, and then place the demon face up under the top 2 cards. I'm gonna talk about how to defeat the demons. And Gravedigger. Draw from the top of the discard pile instead of the draw pile this turn. Discard Gravedigger at the end of your turn after you draw phase, and so on. So Provoke and Smoke Bomb. There are lots of these several action cards going on over here. Now the thing is that you play any of the cards, and then, for example, I'll play these cards over here. These cards left in my hand, and now I'm gonna draw a card at the end of my turn. So I draw a card. If this is a normal card like weapon or action or ability points, I'm gonna add it to my hand. But if I draw a demon, I must defeat a demon. So if I draw a demon, I need to have a weapon. If I have a weapon, I can throw away the weapon in order to defeat the demon. If I don't have a weapon, I cannot defeat the demon, and thus I lose. If it's 1 versus 1, whoever loses to the demon will lose the game. If it's 2 versus 2, you play until all one team's opponents are eliminated. So that's how you play the game. That's how you lose or win. Now, if I have defeated the demon with my weapon, now I can put it back face up anywhere in the deck. So I can put it like few cards further, So for example, I know that that person will be drawing that card, and then there will be another turn with that card, and then that card. So you always know that at the end of the turn, somebody draws a card. But those action cards, they help you mitigating the card drawing or some action things and the turn order and such. So that's how you end up with no demon on your turn during the game. And that's how the game works basically, and whoever eliminates their opponent or opponents first will be the winner of the game. So this is The Girl and the Robots, and first of all, aesthetics. This game looks really nice. When I got this game, I do really like how the game looks. I really like the kind of the simplicity of the cards, and they have this kind of a whitish appearance on them, with kind of a circulish artwork, and everything reads well. I don't know, it just looks very stylish, very good. The cards are nice quality, they're fine quality, the box is fine quality. It has a small insert with two shells in it, so you can put the cards on both sides. So it's nothing special, but it's this is the box that fits the game, or this is the game that fits the box. So basically a small card game and a small box kind of fit each other. So that's that. The aesthetics overly, I haven't played this is based basically on video games, so I haven't played the video game, but and I mean I cannot tell you if everything on those cards is the same artwork as from the video game. Yeah, but it all looks great anyway. So I give aesthetics a thumbs up. Now we go to gameplay and everything related to that. So now this is based on Russian roulette. So the whole thing, it rotates around is drawing a card and seeing if it's a nice card that you can add to your hands, or it's a demon that you need to defeat, or you are defeated. As a two-player game, it's a back and forth, you know. It's a table tennis, basically. You do some actions, activate some abilities, draw a card, see what happens. Another player does the same until somebody of you draws a demon card you cannot defeat. So there's a lot of that luck of the draw as well, if you get those extra weapons or not. The cool part, how you mitigate all that stuff, is that you can always use those different action cards and special abilities that enhance or twist the turn order, twist drawing the cards or playing the action cards and anything. So it's a nice. I like the action cards themselves. It's a nice touch on that. They add some extra. Now, if we play in teams, I feel like this game should be faster and yet combine this kind of tense, you know, I play this action, I twist it into this direction, now in 2 turns you have to draw that demon, but then you have something else and then you turn it back on me, now I will probably draw that demon, and so on. So doing this back and forth. With 4 players it becomes a little bit more messy, and because all the information is open between your teammate and you can show cards to each other and you can discuss those cards to each other, it kind of adds to the length of the game. It kind of it becomes a slugfest at some point, because, or maybe like your teammate doesn't have that good action cards you have. You can do those trade things, like for example, like if you have this trade card, you can do that as well. But I feel like with teams, one of the teams might have more boring time than the other team if they have better cards, more discussing. It depends on your teammate as well, and you always discuss, and it's all about just play a few cards, draw a card, play a few cards, draw a card. I want it to be faster, and that's where it comes down to that. So I don't know how to fix this problem over here. Also, where you put the demon, it's nice that you put it face up. For me, it would be like, if it's already a random game where you draw a card, it would be cool if like, you can draw 4 cards from the top of the deck and shuffle the demon inside, and then put it back. Of course, it becomes random, but on the other hand, it's like anticipation. Did I shuffle the demon on top of my deck again or not? On the other hand, it's more strategic play, because you put the demon where you want it to, and then you count down, oh, like in 5 turns, he's gonna draw the cards. At that point, he's gonna have no weapons and so on, so you can defeat that person and so on. It's nice, but for such a simple mechanism, for such a simple game as it is, a card game, a small box, it wants to be too strategic, you know? It's I don't know how to explain it. Maybe for you it's like, why are you saying that? Because that's good. A small card game that has a deep strategy in it. It doesn't. It has a fair amount of luck with trying to be a strategic game, and kinda is, but becomes boring if you play it in teams, at least for me. I saw another review where they say that they really like it as a team game. I do not. I do not at all. It's a 2-player game, maybe a 3-player game. 2 versus 1 might be fine as well if the other player is very familiar with the game and all the cards, and they're playing the queen, the evil queen. That's fine. Maybe I would have loved to have, like, the robot and the girl, they have their own deck of cards, and the evil queen has their own deck of cards. Then the strategic nature of the game would evolve, because it becomes an asymmetry. The sides become symmetric. But the only asymmetry in this game is that the evil queen has its abilities, and the robot and the girl, they have their own abilities. That's fine, but if everybody would have their own deck of cards, that would be really cool. So that would create, like, the queen has those evilish crazy powers, but robot and the girl, they can work together. Their powers combined are much better. You know, it's like trying to get those combos with the cards. That would be really, really cool. So this game works, but not completely for me, at least. So the gameplay for me is neutral, on a neutral side. So then we go to the value of the game. So the game is about $20 US, and I think that this package over here, though I like the art, I like that it's based on some nice theme, probably, but I mean, the package looks nice, but $20 seems to be a little bit too much for me. It's like $10 to $15. That's the price I would buy it for. 10, 15 at most. So 20 is a little bit of a stretch on the higher side. You know, it's 20. That's where I would say I'm not sure I would recommend it for 20. Maybe if you're fine with that nature of a game and you like the kind of a team play where you have all the way open information, because I would have loved to have maybe, like, if you are in with our teammates, at least there would be some closed information, like I cannot show you my cards. We can discuss stuff how we do, but I cannot show you my cards. That would be nice for me, at least. So $20 is a little bit too much for me, so I give value a kind of a neutral sign. So this game will not get any Würfel medal. That's my honest opinion. I just don't find this game to be overwhelmingly great, because for a small package, it tries to be a little bit too strategic, in my opinion. It sounds weird, but for example, if we play Red 7, for example, Red 7 becomes very strategic with good players. Yet it's much faster, and it has even less information, and it's just a great filler. This one seems like this one should have been more like a filler game, a 20-minute game, not a 45-minute game, you know, that it is for such a small amount of cards, for such a small amount of package in it. So that's The Robot and the Girl, and thank you for watching. We see you another time. Bye bye. This channel is sponsored by Osprey Games. Check them out at ospreypublishing.com.